Where do you think the first airplane was invented? Most people quickly say America. And while that's true, the story is far deeper than a simple answer. It is not just about America, or even about the Wright brothers. It is the story of humanity's endless obsession with the skies, a dream carried for thousands of years, finally realized by two men who refused to give up. For as long as we have existed, the skies have fascinated us. Ancient myths spoke of winged gods and men who dared to fly. The Greek legend of Icarus warned of ambition, a boy who flew too close to the sun, his wax wings melting as he fell into the sea. In China, inventors built kites thousands of years ago, sometimes carrying small children aloft. In the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci filled entire notebooks with sketches of ornithopters, machines with wings that flapped like birds. He never built them, but his imagination revealed a truth. Humans have always wanted to conquer the sky. But dreams often collide with reality. For centuries, attempts at flight ended in failure, injury, or even death. The idea of a flying machine was laughed at. By the 1800s, hot air balloons could float in the sky, but they drifted helplessly with the wind. True controlled flight, heavier than air flight, remained impossible, or so the world believed. Enter Wilbur and Orville Wright, two brothers from Dayton, Ohio. They were not professors. They had no government funding, no big laboratories. They owned a small bicycle shop. Yet, it was in that humble shop that the foundation of modern aviation was built. The brothers were fascinated by machines and movement. They followed the experiments of pioneers like Otto Lilienthal, a German who had flown dozens of gliders before tragically crashing to his death. Instead of being discouraged, the Wrights studied his work. They asked a different question. What if the problem was not building wings, but controlling them? With this in mind, the brothers began experimenting. They built their own wind tunnel, a wooden box with fans to test air moving across wings. This was revolutionary. Scientists with far more money had never thought of it, yet two bicycle makers had. They tested hundreds of wing shapes, measuring lift and drag, until they found what worked best. The breakthrough came with wing warping, twisting the wings slightly to change direction and keep balance. This idea, combined with a rudder and an elevator, gave the pilot control. For the first time, flying wasn't just about getting into the air, it was about staying there safely. Finally, in December 1903, after years of failures, broken prototypes and countless crashes, they took their fragile wooden flyer to Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. The sandy dunes were perfect for testing. On the morning of December 17th, the brothers made history. Orville climbed into the flyer. Wilbur steadied the wings. The engine sputtered, the plane trembled, and then, against all odds, it lifted off. The flight lasted just 12 seconds, covering 120 feet. A small distance, a short time. But in that moment, humanity had entered a new age. They flew 3 more times that day, with the longest flight lasting 59 seconds and covering 852 feet. What began as a dream was now reality. But here's the interesting part: almost no one cared. Newspapers didn't rush to cover it. Many experts dismissed the brothers' claims. Yet Wilbur and Orville refused to stop. They continued building, improving, and perfecting. Within a few years, their planes were flying for minutes, then hours, circling fields, carrying passengers, and proving to the world that powered flight was not just possible, it was unstoppable. Think about the ripple effect. In just a few decades, planes grew faster, stronger, and more advanced. By 1927, Charles Lindbergh flew across the Atlantic. By the 1940s, airplanes played a decisive role in World War II. By the 1960s, jets carried passengers across continents in hours. And soon after, humanity went even further. from Kitty Hawk's dunes to the surface of the moon. All of this traces back to that fragile machine in 1903. The first airplane was not simply wood, cloth, and wires. It was a symbol of persistence, curiosity, and courage. The Wright brothers remind us that great change doesn't always begin in palaces or universities. Sometimes it begins in a small workshop, with people who believe in something bigger than themselves. They remind us that failure is not the end, but the path. They remind us that no dream is too big when you are willing to test, to learn, and to try again. So yes, the first airplane was invented in America, but its true birthplace was deeper, in the human spirit, in the courage to look at the impossible and say, "We will try anyway." And maybe that's the lesson for us today. The airplanes flying over our heads are not just machines, they are monuments to human imagination. Proof that what seems out of reach today can become tomorrow's reality. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Historia Hub 360, where myths meet facts and history comes alive.